Hello, everybody. Welcome to my presentation for the digital education module, where I have been asked to create a virtual learning platform for students. In this case, I have used Moodle and is a module that is called Garden Design. It's for students of horticulture at level 5, and it's a platform that is going to encourage the following points. First of all, we want to encourage cultural diversity. We're going to encourage universal design and learning, assistive technology. We're going to ensure that the pedagogy that will be highlighted the most is the theory of constructivism through collaboration. Also interactive lessons in order to ensure good teaching and learning practices. And I'm also going to use or encourage the generative artificial intelligence and take advantage of the benefits of it. And then within the virtual environment, also the way in which I'm assessing students is going to be very varied to go along with the UDL. So let's get cracking and go through the module, and I will explain how I've put it together and why I've done what I've done. So the first step for me is very important that the students have a very easy way to find the information in the module. So I have used tiles. These tiles are almost chronological, meaning that the first tile is the first place where they will go, and so on and so forth. Also, on the very, very top, I have put a forum with questions and answers that the students can always go to and see everybody's questions and my answers, and also open discussions. There is a board, a model board for cultural diversity, just to make sure that from day one they understand the importance of equality and celebrating diversity and so on and so forth. And then there is a document that explains the settings of the module. After that, then the tiles that I have included here are as follows. The first one, and I will click on each one of those individually quickly, but first of all, I'm just going to explain what they are. I'm using a method called flipped classroom. So that's what that first tile is all about. In this tile, I have included lessons. I'm going to click on it that have two formats. The first format is simply a PowerPoint presentation that was saved and uploaded using PDF. The reason for that is that we don't want the students to having to download what we provide for them as a resource. So it's in PDF format to ensure that we do that. Then, apart from the lesson in PDF format, we have a video of that lesson. So that video is a pre-recording. Hello and welcome to lesson 1 of the teacher actually explaining the lesson. And then it is worth noting that for every lesson, it's going to actually answer to a particular learning outcome. So basically here there are 4 learning outcomes. So that means there's lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and lesson 4. So the idea is that the students will have access to this flipped classroom tile anytime, so that they can take their own pace at studying it at home as part of their weekly activities. Then when they come into class, whether it is a blended situation or it's in person, we have this style, which is the interactive lessons. Again, they're the same 4 lessons that go along with the same 4 learning outcomes. What I have used for this is H5P. I originally explored Nearpod, but then I realized, well, why should I go outside of Moodle if I can actually use H5P that will do something similar? So I have learned how to use H5P as a platform to produce lessons that are interactive. So indeed, the same material of the lessons that are in Flipped Classroom are embedded in here, but with a difference. As you go through the slides, The students find that there is maybe a true and false question, then a bit more information, then there is another question, in this case, fill the gap, then you keep moving on, more information, and then you see a multiple choice question, and so on and so forth. So effectively, then, as you teach the lesson with the students and they engage in answering to the questions, their percentage of marks is then added in the grade book, and I find that that's fantastic. So we then move on to the assignments. So learners at this point, after covering all the lessons, they are ready to create assignments. And I have, apart from the small percentage of the interactive lessons, I have created two modes of assessment. The first one is a group assignment, and that's to highlight again the theory of constructivism, encouraging group collaborative work, and I'm using an application called ThingLink. So when the students go into this tile, they will find obviously the place where they upload their assignment, the brief, and then a link. So in this link, it directs them to a place where they have been invited to create a planting plan for Rathanam Castle. So it's obviously an empty space at the moment, and what they have to do as a group is get together, make a decision as to what each individual is supposed to add, whether they want to get one individual to maybe collect plants from winter interest, or perhaps they want something like pink colored flowers or things like that. So effectively, the group then discusses and creates this information together. And at this point, they are allowed to use generative artificial intelligence, so that they can take advantage of that. They can ask ChatGPT to provide maybe a list of plants that are pink colored in springtime and so on and so forth. They are allowed to do that in order to take advantage of it, but then they create their own planting plan. So that's the ThingLink group assignment. And then there is an individual an individual assignment, which is where they create their final garden design package. And to do that, they use a book creator. So when they click on this tile, that brings them to the book creator. So in this app, they have access to everybody's individual book, but then they have their own book that they can create, adding multiple ways of expression. For instance, this is a book that I created. In it, I've been able to include pictures, text, videos, audio, drawings, all sorts of things. So the students are able to actually express themselves with this book creator, and it has assistive technology. And finally, there is a tile where there are a number of group activities such as Padlet, like there is a Padlet board where they can exchange some of their ideas and thoughts and conclusions. There is a panopto video, there is a mind map, all sorts of other things that they can do to make their experience encouraging. The grade book in Moodle is very impressive. So it not only gathers all of the activities that you created in the H5P lessons, but also it's linked to the assignments. I have used a rubric, which also makes the marking of the module very, very interesting and very good. So that's in a nutshell my presentation, and I hope that you enjoyed this and that you are encouraged to see in what way it is possible to make the journey of the students very positive as a teaching and learning experience. Thank you.